You know that you're getting close.
When you're hit with the smell of Abercrombie.
The nightclub beats and bare-chested guys.
It was such a pop culture phenomenon. It was an all-American look, and I considered myself an all-American girl.
Oh, make me over.
Abercrombie and Fitch said, we go after the cool kids. If they didn't look a certain way, they didn't belong in our clothing.
Well, that was from the trailer to a new documentary about the rise and fall of Abercrombie & Fitch, although Abercrombie & Fitch is still around.
Yes, they are.
But it was about a lot of the alleged abuses, racism that happened. And you have been watching this documentary, which is anyone who's alive in the 90s is familiar with the sensations of walking into an Abercrombie & Fitch that were described there.
Yes, you would walk into Abercrombie Fitch, the music would be blasting. I remember going back in there with my frosted tips on my hair, my button-down white shirt with all three buttons buttoned down. I felt great. And it was a cool shopping experience. At the time, none of us really went to a store like that before. But again, this documentary is really looking back at some of the bad practices under prior management, most notably Mike Jeffries. Now, I covered the company Abercrombie as an analyst at the time, and he was a true enigma. He would pop up on the earnings calls, not really do any interviews, but it was his mind that created this really sexy, sexual type of brand for men and women. And you can see, but now, you have new leadership, and that's CEO Fran Horowitz, which is completely
I think this is more the newer.
Yeah, this is the new, more inclusive. This is a company that is inclusive in terms of the marketing on its site, its brands, how it no longer has music in the store. It's not pumping out really bad cologne through various machines inside the building. A completely different company. But look, Jeffries, when he got the axe on December 9th, 2014, they had seen 11 straight quarters of same-store sales declines. The market went against them. You saw the rise of Forever 21 and H&M. So it was his time to go. Yeah,
we saw similar shifts away from the likes of Victoria's Secret, where the culture just moved away from the abuses and some of the outdated notions of how they were viewing people, outdated or just plain wrong, right? Jeffries famously said, are we an exclusionary brand? Yes, we absolutely are, which does not fly. There's another founder, by the way, who at one time said his was an exclusionary brand, although not in so many words. And that brand has moved on and thrived from that founder. I'm talking about Lululemon.
Yep.
Whose founder, Wilson, famously talked about that the clothes weren't for everyone. Well, now the clothes, they have sort of pivoted away from that. And the company's having an analyst day today, and is out with some pretty lofty goals for what they want to see in terms of sales growth. $12.5 billion by 2026 in sales. That's a doubling. And the doubling is going to come from, in particular, a doubling in the men's business and in the digital business. Now, you're the target demo for one of those, maybe both of those.
The aging male millennial?
Just men in general. And you have some of these clothes.
Yeah, look, Lululemon makes high quality clothes, a little expensive, sure. But one thing I am taking from this release from Lululemon, really just terrible marketing, just jargon here on this release. Nonetheless, they didn't mention Mira. Not one mention of this Mira business that CEO Calvin McDonald spent $500 million to buy over the pandemic. It has been a horrific acquisition. And the fact that they not mentioned it on this release in terms of their 5-year growth plan, and that has me thinking, do they shut it down? Do they sell it? But
leave it to you to focus on the bad part.
This is how you have to think. They invest a large part of shareholder capital in these things. But lastly, Julie, I know you mentioned men's, and I am excited about the Lululemon men's menwear. Also excited about this. I still do, in fact, shop at Abercrombie & Fitch. Full and fair disclosure here, and I have bought the cologne. In fact, there I am. That is my face on a bottle of Abercrombie Fierce cologne, and I still like the smell of it, just like that cologne. I'm, in fact, fierce.
By the way, my favorite thing about mirror is the way you say it with your Long Island accent. Mirror.
Mirror.
Anyway.